This is among the most tragic scenes in any piece of television. Two best friends driven to the point of no return, with one attempting to execute the other. But why? To fully grasp the depth of this scene, we need to first understand exactly what led Shane to do this, as it isn't as simple as him loving Lori. There were a lot of factors that led up to his eventual breaking point.
Gonna crack a rib when I get home. I'm gonna bury you.
Shane's beliefs, when it came to survival, were never really wrong. When he shot Otis, he was pretty well justified. And he makes a really good point in his defense.
One of us wasn't gonna make it out. Had to be him. One shot to the leg. Carl lives. Reality is, he had no business being here.
He wasn't wrong that only one of them was going to make it out, and it's an easy conclusion to make that Shane was the most fit to leave that scenario. He was better trained, smarter, more fit, and overall a better survivor. And when he says Otis had no business in their group, while it is a ruthless thing to say, it again isn't wrong. Otis was not fit for the apocalypse, figuratively and literally. And a lot of Shane's justification was that it was to save Carl, which was less likely to happen had Otis been the one to deliver the package. Shane's breakdown, where he begins slaughtering all the walkers on the farm, was a reasonable thing to do. His standpoint is justified. Those walkers were a hazard, and killing them wasn't an inherently bad thing. Rather, it's the reason he killed them that speaks to Shane's issues. The one thing Shane lacked was control over his emotions, and that is what led to his downfall. Prior to the apocalypse, Shane looked up to what Rick had, and Shane wanted what Rick had. I don't think Shane wanted Lori specifically, rather I think he wanted to have a family, and he wanted to have his own version of Lori and Carl. After Rick supposedly died, he was expected to assume Rick's role in their family, with the simple justification of, he was my friend and he would want me to take care of his family. And to that end, I do think that Rick would have wanted Shane to take care of them. However, after Rick came back and reunited with his family, Shane began to become jealous. And not simply because he loved Lori and Coral. While that was a factor, it was mostly because Shane felt he had earned them. By taking care of them during the beginning of the apocalypse and getting them to safety, Shane felt that it wasn't fair for Rick to come back and re-put Shane in Sown. And Shane feeling this way is completely understandable. It's just how he dealt with it that's an issue. Instead of understanding Rick's side, he only focuses on his own point of view. Instead of understanding that the situation is unfortunate for both of them, he immediately starts to blame Rick. And out of resentment, the idea that Rick is a bad husband starts to further grow in Shane's mind. And throughout the coming events, Shane only started to believe this more and more. Shane explicitly states that he doesn't think Rick is cut out to do the hard thing.
You don't think I would have done it? Oh man, I know you wouldn't. You don't think I can keep Lori or Carl safe? I didn't say that. Or my baby.
He says he doesn't think that Rick can keep his family safe, and it's a clear belief of Shane that Rick is weak, resulting in a fight between the two.
It's my call, man. I don't think you can keep them safe. There are no rules, man. We're lost.
And Rick low-key beats the piss out of Shane, to the point where when Rick was only fighting to gain control, Shane was fighting to kill. Rick could have easily killed Shane, however he didn't. But Shane threw a pipe wrench at Rick in an attempt on his life, because Shane was no longer able to control his emotions. He let his rage get the better of him, which resulted in him doing something extremely rash. On top of this, Shane genuinely started to lose it. A combination of multiple different factors resulted in Shane's mental state drastically deteriorating. The life Shane knew before the apocalypse was ripped away from him, and the life he knew after the apocalypse was also ripped away from him. The entire group began to look at him like a maniac. People began to no longer want him around. Where initially he was the head leader, Rick stepped in and took that role. These events, coupled with Shane's underlying selfishness and ego, result in a man that no longer has anything to lose. And now, he not only wants what Rick has, but simultaneously hates Rick. And his logical conclusion is either he gets what he wants, or dies trying.
So this is where you plan to do it?
There is no way that they can both return from this.
It's a good place as any. At least have the balls to call this what it is.
One of them has to die.
Murder.
And no matter who it is, either one of them will have clean hands in the eyes of the people.
You really believe if you walk back onto that farm alone, no me, no Randall,
hush up.
you really believe they're gonna buy whatever bullshit story you cook up? That's just it, ain't no story. I saw that prisoner shoot you down. I ran after him. I snapped his neck.
Shane tries to justify this murder in his mind because, in his words,
But Lori and Carl, they'll get over you. They done it before. They just gonna have to. Why? Why now? I thought we worked this all out.
Trying to kill each other, man. What you think? We're just gonna forget about it all? We're gonna ride off into the sunset together?
You gonna kill me in cold blood? Screw my wife, have my children call you daddy. Is that what you want? That life won't be worth a damn. I know you. You won't be able to live with this. What you know about what I can live with? You got no idea what I can live with, what I
he
live
asks
with.
Rick to raise his gun so that he would be able to live with killing him, because then he was acting in offense.
Come on, man, raise your gun.
Shane's hidden beliefs are now fully revealed.
No, I will not.
What happened, Rick? I thought you weren't the good guy anymore. Ain't that what you said? Even right here, right now, you ain't gonna fight for him.
I'm a better father than you, Rick.
I'm better for Lori than you, man.
It's because I'm a better man than you, Rick, because I can be here and I'll fight for it.
But you come back here and you just destroy everything.
You got a broken woman. You got a weak boy.
You ain't got the first clue on how to fix it.
Raise your gun. You're gonna have to kill an unarmed man.
Rick takes advantage of what he saw earlier, now knowing that Shane won't shoot Rick until Rick fights back.
Watch my hand. Nice and easy. Easy does it. Now listen to me, Shane. There is still a way back from this. Nothing has happened here. And we're gonna lay down our guns. We're gonna walk back to the farm. Together. Back to Lori. Back to Carl. Put this all behind us.
And this is the difference between Shane and Rick. They both hold similar ideas. They both understand the cost of survival, and they both understand what it really takes to make it in this world. But Shane is rash and can't control his emotions. Rick plans on killing Shane, but instead of a meltdown where he goes berserk and immediately shoots Shane, he instead has patience and control, where Shane immediately decides to shoot the prisoner.
This piece of garbage. This piece of garbage.
He shot at you, Rick. He ran with men who tried to kill you. You gonna bring him back to where Lori sleeps?
Rick decides to consider it, because there really is no rush. Rick's control over his emotions is commendable, and is truly stressed on in the scene where Rick confronts Shane.
When I figured it out, and I figured it out pretty quickly, I wanted to break your jaw. Let you choke on your teeth. But I didn't. That wasn't weakness. It took everything.
Rick was never weak. Rather, he had a control over his emotions that Shane didn't. And it was for this reason that Shane tried to kill Rick. And it was for the same reason that Rick was able to kill Shane. He dipped his fry in Rick's ketchup. Of course he did. Bravo, Vince. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Literally.